come a long way from the Averex. From the days when we had to make the waist stretch. Now it's Vacherons and all the Marble K sets. You wanna get money with me? Say less. Say less. Say less. You wanna get money with me? Say less.
What's poppin', people? Welcome back to another episode of Say Less.
Yeah.
Hey,
What's up, Rosy?
and Rosy.
Chilling, man. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Good week. Happy to be in front of y'all once again. Happy Monday or Tuesday, whatever day this comes out. Let's just get right into it, right? Like, just a few hours ago, I'll keep it real with the taping, right? So just a few hours ago, I'm a diehard New York Knicks fan, and we all watched that Knicks-Lakers classic that went down earlier this evening. But we are, 10 a.m. the next day? Rough waking up time for everybody when it comes to the Knicks fans. But the story isn't the game. The story isn't Jalen Brunson rolling the ankle. The story isn't even about the Lakers winning that game.
The story
that I seen on the way here is LeBron James, Stephen A. Smith, face to face with master lip readers making out something to the extent of
master lip reader.
Keep my son out of this, bro. You know what I mean?
Now, Kaz, give me some context.
So listen, for one, if you're Stephen A. Smith, what a gift. What a gift. You just signed a $100 million contract with ESPN, and the next day or that day, the biggest star on the planet, the biggest sports star on the planet is face-to-face in front of you, giving you content, right? Like, right, wrong, or indifferent. He's giving you content on the day you signed a historic, contract with ESPN, the sports content leader. So what a gift if you're Stephen A. Smith. But on the second hand, we all knew this was coming one of these days. The moment Bronny James entered the league, and, we all have followed Bronny's growth, who are basketball fans, follow Bronny's growth. We obviously all know about LeBron James. But I kind of felt like we all knew this was eventually going to happen when you got your son in the league, and he's the subject of criticism in a league that is so much about criticism, right? And on one end, as a father, I could kind of understand Bron wanting to be on some, you got to let your kid grow. You got to let your kid, he's fair game when he's league at the same time. But sometimes emotions might get the best of you certain days. Like, there's certain days, like, as a parent, what to do is right. But at the same time, there's other days where sometimes you just liable to crash out over your kid, even if it's right, wrong, or indifferent. And I don't think Bron's going to crash out. But I knew this was going to happen eventually, though. Like, we all know how unordinary it is to have a guy who is yay old, still playing at a high level, so long that they're like, hey,
that's the first problem.
Draft my son.
That's the first fucking problem.
Right.
Second of all, what did Stephen A. say? Give me context, because I cannot take him yelling at me so early, so I do not watch First Take.
All right, so now as from the video that's gone viral that day, you can't see what Stephen A. is saying to LeBron. Like, his back is to the camera. But in prior episodes of First Take, like, Stephen A. Smith would say something. He'd be pretty critical of Bronny, and in some instances, be critical of.
But see, I think that's fair.
LeBron as a father for putting his son through this, not through this situation like he's like suffering or anything like that, but like
he thinks he got him in.
The level of scrutiny that he's been, susceptible to because he's LeBron's kid, and frankly, the way he ended up in the league, where everyone was kind of like, yeah, like, we all know they're gonna draft his son. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those things, which happens all the time, but we all knew that scrutiny was coming. That being said, like, if it's you know what I mean? Like, your kid is, out there trying to do, following your footsteps, been through a lot,
Well, we can't.
Could we be as critical of LeBron for crashing out over his kid or not?
I'm saying, like, we can't ignore the fact that it's true. Like, you got here because of your dad. This suit.
Yeah.
He would have gotten there eventually, but I think we would have respected it more if it happened naturally.
Right.
Like, it should have happened instead of like, nah, come on, get my kid. But I want to be legendary and make history by playing with my kid on the team.
Right.
So I think that's where that comes from, and I think it's fair. I think the criticism is fair.
I think the criticism is fair, but I also think that, like,
And it builds character. I think, kick him a little bit, rough him up a little bit. He's never been roughed up.
Right.
He's been protected his whole life.
I see. That's why I don't. That's why I might disagree. Like,
I'm just saying.
I think there's definitely a different type of toughening up when it comes to being the son of somebody that's so
what is it?
Legendary.
How do you toughen up a kid that's been sheltered and is Bron's kid?
There's two sides to that. Like, you're sheltered in certain aspects, but as far as like
I'm not
the
saying beat his
scope and
ass, but I'm saying
I'm not saying physically. I'm just saying like as a public figure, their pressure is different than my pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you're following in the footsteps of your dad, who was arguably the best to ever do this sort of thing, right? Like, I'm just saying, like, if you're Bronny, and do
you think Bronny fought back? Do you think Bronny was just okay with his dad's game plan? Like that kid that like, yo, I went to Duke, so you got to go to Duke. And the kid's like, but I want to go to Carolina. You think he did that, or you think he was just like, fuck it, I got to go to Duke because my dad went to Duke?
So that's you know what? That's the sort of unfortunate part of being the son of somebody so great, right? Like, I think, of course, there had to be some pushback. You're a teenager, right? Like, your natural.
You really think there was pushback? He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to the league with my dad.
I think to some extent. Because, like, if regular folks aren't the son of LeBron James, right? Like, then you could have that innate like teenage pushback on your parents, but when your dad is like one of the most accomplished men in the history of ever, right? Like, you probably tend to listen to him a little bit more, right? So that's where it gets like tricky, man. Like, how does that conversation even start, especially when it comes to people whose job it is to speak about these certain things and give context and give more attention to the league overall. Like, I'll tell you what I thought it was.
No. So all right, real quick. Not that we're lip readers or anything.
Okay.
How do you think that conversation went?
I think
Stephen A. was like, your son sucks.
No, I don't think it was that.
Like,
I think.
What do you think he said for LeBron to be like, hey man, leave my son out of this?
Let me tell you what. Okay, for what people may say, people can say a lot about Stephen A. Smith, man. From everything I've ever been told, heard, or even witnessed in just being in the similar spaces, like.
10 toes down.
Yeah, like, he doesn't seem like the guy to be like, yes, I said that. You know what I mean?
I said it, and I'll say it again.
And I'll say it again. Like, that is why he's who he is. You know what I mean? And that is why, in most cases, LeBron would never even address certain things. Like, LeBron, you talk about sheltering, like, he doesn't have to, unless, it's team mandated media where he can just speak about the basketball game. Like, he can control so much of his own narrative because he's so powerful, right? And Stephen A. Smith, for people who may like it or not like it at all, his voice is almost as powerful as, many other star athletes of that caliber. I'm not saying he's
but what do you
like
think
LeBron.
He said? I want you to create a whole little dialogue right now.
I think it was the end of a very intense game with the New York Knicks in overtime, prime time. Everybody's watching.
Everybody stood up just to watch the Knicks.
It was a big game. I'm thinking emotions are high. You know what I mean? Like, they cross it past. Stephen A's there. LeBron's there. The news just went out that Stephen A signed a $100 million deal with ESPN that day. And they probably got into a path that was sort of unavoidable. I don't think one person pressed somebody over the other, but
dialogue cast.
What I will say is they were on the sideline, right? Like, Stephen A. It wasn't like it was in the middle of the court. So if I was, putting my detective hat together, I would say, okay, maybe LeBron initiated the conversation, right? Like, maybe saw Stephen A. and said, like, hey man, like, keep my son out this sort of thing, right? And Stephen A's probably, you know, looking at him like, you know, we all know what Stephen A does, bro. Like that's why he's always, if you watch him, even when he critiques LeBron or when he critiques Bronny James, he always prefaces it with saying like, hey, like, even though I feel this way about this, I can't take away the fact that he's XYZ, XYZ, ABC. You know what I'm saying? Stephen A. Smith always has to preface stuff when it comes to talking about LeBron because it's a unique-ass situation. Your son is on the team with you, and you play for the flagship franchise of your sport. Like you play for it's like playing for the Dallas Cowboys in football. It's like playing for the Yankees in baseball. And on top of that, your team is like really good. And like you still have a chance of probably winning another championship at this old age. How can we not talk about Bronny and how unique of a situation this is?
If Bronny gets a ring, I am canceling the NBA.
Nah, come on, son. Like that'll be. You gotta give him. He's been doing his thing in the G League though. I gotta give him that. Like Bronny, which most late second round picks would be doing, Bron's son or not. Like you go to the G League and get better. Like it's rare that a person that is drafted at the same position as Bronny, especially in the draft that isn't as like strong, has impact as a rookie in the second round. Like you go and play in the G League, and Bronny in the G League, and from what I've seen, he's more than held his own. He got some really good games over there, and you can see the talent. Like it's not like he's over there like stinking it up. You know what I mean? Like you see the glimpses of like, yo, 2 or 3 years of this, he's gonna be a solid NBA player. Maybe even like a border, like a starter on an NBA team. You know what I mean? Like you see the glimpses with him. So it's not like it's totally like how dare we fucking waste this draft pick on my son because I'm just like, bro, if it keeps LeBron happy and LeBron's still playing like this, bro, draft all his sons, man. Like at this point, like if it keeps him young, if it keeps him averaging 26, 8 and 8, y'all second in the West, y'all just got Luka Doncic, you got a real chance of winning the championship, and like the Lakers are the headline news in the NBA.
Bryce,
draft all the kids. Bryce. It's clearly working.
Bryce, put your jersey on.
Go get Bryce. Draft all of them. If that is what I don't. We always wonder, like, yo, how can this dude Bron still be doing it at this old an age or whatever against all these young dudes? Like, he's got like his walking, living.
He's like the opposite, right?
Inspiration.
Like, no, he's the opposite of hoop dreams. You know how when you have a hoop dream, motherfuckers still be like a rap dream too. Like you still be like 35, still trying to make it. He's the opposite. Like he just won't let it go.
He won't let it go because he's still nice. He's still nice. Why would he retire? He's still like a top.
I want him to retire. Why he's still nice?
He's still nice. I don't think LeBron's never not gonna be nice.
I don't want him to get washed.
I don't think he's.
I feel like some young
I have yet to see him look washed.
Some young whippersnapper's gonna.
Everyone's a young whippersnapper to him though. Like which one is it gonna be?
I don't know.
LeBron is about to be 40.
Like a John Morant or somebody's gonna cross him up real quick.
I mean, he's older than 40. Ja had his moments. You know what I mean? Like the fact that we even talk about.
It got to be somebody quick like that.
Nah.
Somebody.
You can't even. LeBron has been balling this long for so hard. You can't even call like a down season for him being washed. Like he's been that good for this long that even if like the next season he averages 0 points a game, which would never happen. It's not gonna happen.
It has to happen.
I just don't think he's gonna. I just don't think he's ever gonna be washed.
Just like, what world do you live in? It's gonna happen.
Tom Brady was never washed. Like he was balling to the last game.
He got out right in time.
What do you mean? He was 40, so he was already the oldest dude. You know, lost. He got divorced.
You're gonna lose it at some point, bro.
Just because he lost.
The divorce gave him a second win, though.
Just because he lost, don't mean he lost it. Is what I'm saying.
I'm saying he was going to eventually.
Maybe if he played what, another 5 years until he was 50. Of course, yeah. I think a 50-year-old quarterback would eventually not be as good, but I've yet to see it with them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
You really live in
How do I live in La La Land?
Everything is eternal.
Listen, have you seen LeBron look washed yet?
Not yet, but it's gonna happen.
When? Why? Why would it at this point?
Age, bro. What do you fucking mean? Age.
I mean, you know, I'll tell you this. I'm not even gonna. I don't wish this on him at all. But honestly, the only way I could ever see it like being done for Braun is like probably, God forbid, like an injury. Like I don't think he's gonna be I think he got maybe 2 or 3 years left realistically, and I think if he's even a quarter of a drop off from these last 2 or 3 years, like I still wouldn't call him washed. I'm like, yo, yeah, I'll take 23 points a game from my 45-year-old power forward. Like I'll just never say he's washed. Like unless, you know.
Until he gets washed.
I just don't see it happening. Like some people just never wash. Like
man, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Brady's one of them. Brady was just unwashable. Like he just balled his whole life up until the very last game, and he was like, all right, I guess I'm done.
Fuck it.
You know what I mean? That's the room he's in.
Now you want to retire. You done lost it all. Like now you want to retire. It's all just unwanted, bro.
If that's what losing it all to Brady looks like, I wish we all could lose as much as Brady has lost. If that's what losing looks like, I'm sure you know that's life, man. It'll be all right.
Here we go.
Brady will be all right. What else we got, Marvin? I know I said.
But wait, back to Stephen A.
Oh,
all those kids who had too talkative on their report card.
Yeah. Listen, that's the dream right there, baby. Yo, first off, I gotta.
Listen, it's not a bad thing.
Before we say anything about this, congratulations, $100 million.
That is insane. Just to talk it, just to be you.
Media, you know what I mean? Like, I know there's a lot of people, I talk to a lot of people who ask me about, like, just my media career and just, like, how to sort of navigate that sort of thing and, you know, the ups and downs of it. Like, a lot of, you know, young men and women hit me just about, like, you know, just media career advice. And, you know, watching Stephen A. sign a $100 million contract, not as a former athlete, not like as somebody who like John Madden, like a legendary coach or anything like that. Like he's a journalist. Like he is somebody who's studied media and got like he really got his first really big break in his late 30s. You know what I mean? Like late 30s, early 40s, and then
talking that shit.
From talking that shit, right? Like, but also like it's also decades of legitimate media credentials that, frankly, a lot don't even exist anymore. What's up? They talk about it now?
Stephen A. Smith gives detailed account of his courtside interaction.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
I could be a bit more outspoken about it, but to be quite honest with you, to be in that moment, to have LeBron look at me the way that he did, for me to be a father of 2 daughters, for me to know how much love fathers have for their children, and to hear what he had to say, it was all about his son. It was almost as if he was saying, you know, you and I, because he and I don't necessarily vibe, it's high and by, we keep it moving. Neither of us lose sleep over it, and it's been that way for years. But it was like he was saying, keep that between me and you. Almost as if he was thinking that anything that I said about Bronny was a result of him. And in that situation, again, I wasn't talking about Bronny. I was really, really talking about him because of the position that Bronny was in. But I really understood where he was coming from. He was very, very upset. I could tell. He could have called me. I'd have came to see him. I'd have had a conversation with him. He could have been just as upset face-to-face, man-to-man, as opposed to being courtside at the game. I had no idea that everybody saw it until I woke up this morning. But it is what it is. In the end, like I said, you know, I as a father, I get it. I'm not offended. I'm not insulted. I don't have any animosity or animus towards LeBron James for this. Nothing like that. I don't think he cares, but neither do I. I'm just stating fact.
Shady.
If I was in his position, I can't definitively say I would not have done the same thing. Yeah. I'm not blaming him one bit. I get it. I understand it. And there's a part of me that aches and hurts because of it. But unlike a whole bunch of people with their podcast and beyond that talk about the NBA, I covered the NBA. And it's my job to talk about the subjects and the subject matters that matter. I work for ESPN. I'm here. We have the #1 morning show for the last 13 years and counting. God has blessed us with that. There's a lot that's going on, and there's a lot of stories that are there to be told. And I just feel it's necessary to remind people, Molly, I was raised as a journalist. Let's be very, very clear about what that means. I'm not one of those that get into people's private affairs. But what you do on a public platform for public consumption, that's what I cover. That's what I do for a living. And if you're in the NBA, that applies to you. I don't want enemies. I live a very good life. I like to make people laugh and smile and have a good time and all of that other stuff. But I also get paid to call it like I see it. And what I said at the time, I stand by what I said. It wasn't even any reporting. The facts were out there. And what I was saying about LeBron is fact-based because of what he said and the things that he said leading up to his son getting drafted and ultimately being in the NBA on the same team as him, as opposed to being a Boston Celtic or a Golden State Warrior. There is no way around that. And when you are born and raised as a journalist, not born and raised, but when you're raised as a journalist professionally, you don't want enemies, but you ain't paid to make friends. You got to call it like you see it. And that's what I did. So again, in closing, I just want to say, I'm not upset. I don't care. I wish that it wasn't in that kind of atmosphere. I wish it was in a private setting.
Yep.
I don't blame LeBron James for being upset. I don't blame him for being angry. I don't blame him for wanting to confront me because that wasn't a superstar basketball player that confronted me. He played like one again last night, which just reminds you of his focus and his greatness.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a basketball player that approached me last night.
Let's get.
That was a daddy.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Took the words right out of my mouth, man. Like, I understand as a dad why somebody would crash out over their kid like that. 1,000,000%. But at the end of the day, Stephen A. Smith, which again, congratulations for him for the $100 million deal with ESPN.
That's crazy.
He's a journalist by trade, man. He's got to call it like he sees it. He's got to, you know what I mean? Like, they both, the situation for both of them, like, it's just, it's unfortunate. Like, what can you say, man? Like, it's such a unique situation where it's like, if it was just another player, nobody would care. But we know he's not just another player.
Mm-hmm.
You're LeBron James' kid who plays on his team, right? And you're good. Like, you know what I mean? You're in the hunt for possibly winning a championship this year. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you this. If the NBA was lacking for storylines and drama and excitement and stuff to talk about, problem solved. There's Luka, LeBron. Like, the Lakers was just like, oh, NBA need a little pick-me-up? The Raiders is down? Yeah. Let's call Nico. Let's get this Luka trade popping. Oh,
That's
word?
crazy.
Lakers? Again? God, yo, how do they do
cheating,
it?
man.
Every
LeBron.
time, Hollywood. I hate it. I mean, good for them. You know what I mean? I can't be mad at that you know, they're a well-run organization, but certain motherfuckers just always in the mix. Marvin, what else we got on the rundown, man? Like, talk to me. What's next on the topic?
On a similar page, we got Kazeem versus Stephen A.
Oh man, do we want to the same conversation?
Nah.
I mean, we get it. Like, Kazeem was on, you know.
ESPN. But remember when we did have the conversation of like, what's next for Kazeem? Well, we're seeing it.
That dude is so famous.
We're seeing it. We're fucking seeing it.
It's so fascinating to me because, like, in the same conversation about Stephen A. Smith getting a $100 million deal,
Just for being himself.
like, this is media. This is what the media enterprise has turned into. You know, where a guy who has sat in front of his, you know, in his living room on his laptop for years is a bankable, you know what I'm saying, like,
crazy.
Person to have on the #1 morning show
That's insane.
in the world, right? Like, in this country, I guess. I don't know about the world, but, you know, First Take is as big as it gets. But it's always so interesting to me just watching just how the shifting climate of certain media personalities have happened. So we talked enough about Stephen A. Earlier, but
Yeah.
I can understand, right? Like earlier, I think I guess to give more context to the whole LeBron conversation, he put out a tweet a few weeks ago, well, I guess a few days ago, pretty much criticizing, the coverage of sport and the coverage of basketball. And I think the day he did that, like, First Take spent like the whole first hour talking about LeBron talked about us in the media.
Yeah.
So it's such a weird relationship right now, because it's like, yeah, you can be a guy. There's somebody out there who's getting paid $100 million just as a media journalist, not just as, but somebody who's dedicated their life to this, at the top of, the pinnacle of it, I guess, financially. But also, you carry this incredible weight of people saying, like, you're the reason why sports coverage is so terrible. Like, look what LeBron says about you. Look what he did when he came to press you at at the game and stuff like that. Like, you're the reason why the relationship between athlete and media is so bad, right? And then, it's weird. On the other side, he got, man, I didn't want to talk about it, but I'll go. Let's go to another subject, man. What else we got?
What's next?
We got Elon Musk, Trump pardon on Derek Calvin, the George Floyd case.
Do you want to talk about this, Rosy? Because it's any conversation about the grift of all grifters.
I don't. It's
inherently depresses me.
Yeah, that shit's heavy.
Yeah, anytime it's time to talk about like.
And also, white people piss me off. Sorry.
Yeah, I could understand that, because.
Like, how is he sitting there? You saw the video?
Which video?
Of what's his name? The reporter dude, like, asking for that Trump should pardon.
Okay.
Floyd's killer. That shit pissed me off. Like, how audacious of you.
It's the symbolism behind it, right? Like, everything, the thing that's so fucking weird about this.
Audacity to just be like, yeah, Trump, you should just pardon him. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, everything just is a symbol, right? Like, it always feels like when it comes to this administration, even if they don't get certain things done, they always put signs out there. They always want to do stuff that are symbolic to,
piss people off.
To piss people off. You know what I mean? Like, it's such.
What do people care about?
It's like
rage
rage bait.
that up.
You know what I mean? Like, it's rage bait. Like, you ever get on Twitter or you get on social media and you people that just like tweet or put out, threads specifically
to piss
people off. Like, that's what this administration feels like. Like, it feels like we are ran by a contingent of rage baiters.
I feel like
even if like the whole tariff shit, like
I feel like here's what I think.
Right.
Conspiracy theory. I feel like when Trump was out of office, he was just taking notes of everything that pissed him off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he had a list, and that's why that first week was so loaded.
He's so like
that first week that he was in office, that's why he had a hit list, not a to-do list. He's like, first order of business.
Yeah.
This, that, let's just piss everybody off. I'm gonna show them who's boss type shit.
Because he's kind of petty, man. Like, he's a petty dude, right? Like, and I don't know. It's just, it's so uncomfortable, man. Like, I hate that. Like, I was watching Elimination Chamber over the weekend.
What's
and
that?
It was a WWE pay-per-view and a premium live event. Sorry. And it was in Canada. It was in Toronto. And, before the matches, they sing both national anthems. So in Toronto, they hit them with the, oh, say can't you hear? Boom! Booing the shit out of the national anthem of America. And that's not the only place that's happened. That's happened during the hockey all-star thing that they did. I forgot what it was called. It was like Four Nations, I think. The Four Nations joint. It's been like, yo, especially Canada, but around the world, like
sucks. America sucks.
Folks look at us like, yo, we are the heels of the world right now.
We're
like,
the Florida.
Yeah.
Of all
We're
countries.
the Florida of the world, right? Like,
we're the Florida of the world.
I can't hold
they
you.
They could do without us.
Like I'm proud to be an American, right? Like I'm proud to live here and all that type of stuff. Man, y'all make it so damn hard, right? To be like have any sort of pride, because inherently, you know, like you're watching, you know, America get booed on the national stage.
And
I watch so much Dream Team USA basketball that my inherent response is to be like, nah, man, what? It's the Stars and Stripes, man. You better watch what you talk about.
Stand down, bro.
Like, this is
not your
like,
fight.
yo, like, first off,
just sit there and be like, I get it.
We know we fucked up over here, all right? Like, that don't mean y'all gotta come over here.
It's like when you argue with your partner.
That's exactly
or
what
your
it's
friend.
like. It's like
somebody gets in, you're like, hey.
It's like, yo, man, listen. It's like, first off, yeah. This between, like, we know we fucked up over here. This is family business over here. Y'all can shut the fuck up. All right? Like, at the end of the day, I understand we gonna fix this right here. Let us figure this out.
Would you stand
Let us figure this out before y'all get crazy. Because at the end of the day, it's like, yo.
Would you hold it down for America?
What else? What other choice do you have, yo? It's the only home I've ever known in my life. Like, if shit goes down, what choice do you have?
Like, if you somewhere,
I've never lived anywhere else.
Fucking America, your country sucks. And would you be like, hey man, don't say that shit about my country?
Listen, I understand. Like, I'm not
I get it.
I'm not no flag toting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not no like, don't talk about my country. Like, never that. I'm just saying in the sense that, like, if shit ever really goes down. Mm-hmm. And it's like country versus country. Like, forget all the pot, forget all, like, it's really time to, like, I'm like, yo, like, man, at the end of the day, it's the only place I've ever lived.
Yeah, go get your Nigerian citizenship.
Of course. I mean, like, obviously.
You know what? I'm gonna go over here.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Like, I'm always proud of my Nigerian heritage and living, you know what I mean, and my family and all that type of stuff. I'm just saying in the sense that if it ever goes down, at the end of the day, this is where I've always. I'm talking. I don't think you're talking about the level I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
So break it down.
If Canada kicked the doors down, also like, yo, what's popping, American? You know what I mean? Not saying it'll ever happen. That's what I mean by saying, like, if shit ever really gets real, and I gotta stand on some. You know what I mean? Like, Stars and Stripes forever, motherfucker. What's up? You know what I mean? Like,
chitty baby.
Like, I got to. Like, at the end of the day, it's not about, like, my politics or my nationality or whatever. Like, they just see Black American. Fuck this N-word. I'm like,
I'm just saying. Sometimes
I know our country is wild. I know our country is fucked up. I like to play
devil's advocate a lot. And sometimes I'll be like, I get it.
Yeah,
sometimes you just gotta put down between your legs and be like,
I understand why we get booed. I understand why we look crazy, because we are fucking up on a biblical level as a country. I understand it, man. Disgusting. But and even like it only takes 5 seconds of even if you don't understand, even if you're even if you're just a he-man, woman haters American out there that's just like, this is my country, you can't talk about my country. Like, you have to at least be able to take yourself out of yourself for like 5 seconds and just like read the room, which is the world. And a good amount of them looking at us like, these guys might be the bad guys, right? Like, so.
You know what's funny? So last week we had a conversation about rappers and on.
Well, we're all
drugs.
the bad guys to somebody.
He was like, hold on, I got a little more weight.
I got a little more in there. I'm like, all right, I didn't want to leave off on that note. People are like, what you say? I'm just saying. I'm just saying, you know, you taught a lot of whatever.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So remember last week how we were like, some artists are just better on drugs?
Yes.
So yesterday I was having a conversation with my friend about how terrible America is, because I was like, yo, every other country I've been to, when I go to studios with artists, I don't see, there's no drinks, there's no bitches, there's no
focus,
there's no drugs.
Yeah.
They're just in there vibing with each other, writing lyrics, getting in the booth. And I was like, we're really fucked up.
Yeah.
Because I went to the studio in Italy, I walked in, wholesome. Motherfuckers, they just there with their homies.
Nice.
No, nothing. I went to a studio in London, same shit. I was like, what the fuck? You go to a
When
studio,
you go to studio in America?
in America? That
First
shit
off-
look like a strip club.
First off, your nose, like my nose is trained for the studio. Like I already know when I'm walking in.
I don't want to go
I'm
to the
smelling
studio.
all of the blunts.
You're getting
all
home
of the black.
smelling like an ashtray.
Yeah, like you coming out smelling like you just spent like hours in a cigar
Bro,
bar.
if we have any listeners that are not from America, if you go to a studio in
I can't
America,
attest.
please,
I've never been in a studio session outside of the country.
it's so wholesome.
Yeah.
It's just like if me, you, and some homies are in the living room freestyling for fun type shit. It's so wholesome.
Okay.
They're actually just in there listening to music, vibing, and doing shit.
Okay.
No weed smoking, no liquor. I mean, of course, I'm sure there's some artists that do it,
Right.
but not to the level of America. Not to the level where you need 89 bitches that are not contributing, by the way, to the music. You bitches writing lyrics? Like, what are y'all doing here? You doing the hook?
I guess they're there for
You
what,
bitches are
inspiration?
harmonizing? What are y'all doing?
Keep people.
What inspiration?
I don't know. I'm not a rapper. I couldn't tell you. Look,
You
all
want
the studio sessions I've ever.
Sue's Ronda, it's starlets in them bitches. Like, what?
All right, not all of them. Not all of them.
some-
Like
some.
I've been to a few. Like, see, I don't want to generalize all rappers. Where it's
Okay, you're
like
right.
everything is
Not all.
smoking liquor and
Not all.
ass shaking. I'm like, no, I've been to a few studio sessions that was just like watching the game. You know what I mean? Still a lot of weed smoke. Like just
You watch
like
the game like,
folks playing 2K. You know what I mean? Like getting 2K games in and stuff like that. Like I've seen several
I'm not saying
different.
all,
You know
but
what I
I'm
mean?
saying
situations. But
I hate that we have to.
what's
clarify
constant?
everything.
What's constant
Goddamn.
is the weed though. The weed is always abundant in every studio session I think I've ever been in my life. Like it's just never not been.
I've been to see, and that's what I'm saying. The only ones that I've been to are out the country. Where it's like I walk in, I'm like, y'all sure y'all
It's like,
y'all making music?
dog, I did. God,
What you
that's
doing in
crazy.
here?
You know how they say like scent is the strongest sense tied to memory.
Is it?
It is, yeah. Like it's like the what you smell, like you always
You know
remember
what? That's
exactly where
true.
you are. You know what I mean?
That's
like
true.
what time it is. Like so,
That's
like
very true, actually.
that's why like every time like I think of like a studio session, like I just immediately think of just like
Well, that's a little tough for me, being that I'm in nightlife. So there's nights where
so when you get out of nightlife, like you'll know the specific scent, like once you smell it, like outside of the actual nightlife situation. Like
yeah.
there's certain liquors that like if I smell right now, I get transported like immediately back to like, oh, freshman year of college, I drank this, I threw it up, I told myself I'll never drink it again.
99 bananas.
E&J brandy.
Oh.
E&J was it for me, man. Like that first time I got twisted as a freshman in high school.
What was your first? Okay. All right. Ooh, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Do you remember your first time getting drunk?
The first time I ever got drunk, I was in college. For
really?
Yeah, like I had
Late
drinks.
bloomer, guys.
I had drinks before I was, of age, but I was never drunk until I got to college. Like I've never had such an abundance. I'll put it like this. I've had buzzes before I went to college that I thought were drunks. I didn't know drunk until I got to college. Like, I didn't know smack shitty until I got to college. Like I had my little like you know what I mean, little young boy, barely any hair on my chest. Like ooh, how drinking Mike's Hard Lemonades or like you know what I mean, freaking little beers. You know what I mean? Yeah, I remember I grew up in Staten Island, man. Like
That reminds me of Superbad. Mike's Hard Lemonade.
that's why I love Superbad. I'm like, yo, that's what it was. Like you had somebody who got you the liquor that had the fake ID.
God, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like some people had like what was it, 99 bananas was their joint? The Horlicks, the Golden Flakes.
The Gold Schnapps.
Gold Snap. Yeah, they had like the knockoff liquors. I was like, oh yeah, like that's what like the younger than 21 people drank.
Yo,
like
it's
beer.
funny. Now that I'm older, now that we're older, it's
Right.
funny to see how stupid we look to the adults.
So stupid.
And we thought we were
Yo,
slick. And
we
they're
love
looking
it.
at us like,
Listen, the amount of confidence I thought I had walking.
All the shit that you did as a kid that you thought you was really getting one up on the adults, and they looking at you like,
It's just like, whatever.
this little motherfucker just
Take the beer. Fucking. They over here thinking they about to really get like,
oh my God. Like, I don't know what you're doing.
Like, okay, I was there one time. And you gotta remember, like, now looking back at it, like, most of those guys are only like 23, 24 anyway. Like, do you think they really give a fuck?
No, but I'm crying.
They sold a beer to a 17-year-old. Like, all right, like, whatever.
I'm crying because it's like, it's true because you remember looking at your parents and thinking, like, do they know?
Right,
and it's like,
right.
They knew,
Of
bro.
course,
they knew before you did it that you were gonna do that. Like, they knew.
I'll say this,
Like, I thought sneaking out was cool. I think my parents knew the whole time.
I never snuck out.
I don't know about sneaking out, but there's shit that I think the whole time they was just like, just let her do it.
When you get to, I'm scared to get to that point as a parent. I don't want to get there. I don't get to a point where, like, I know my daughters are like,
well, the only way you get there.
bye, Dad, see you later, and they're going to get smacked, and I'm just like, nah, son, all right. Like, maybe as a mom, you can be like,
you're scared you're scared of which part? Them sneaking out or like knowing
all of it. All of it. As a dad, bro, all of it. Like, you have to, like, it is my job to be that voice in the back of your little girl's head.
And it's my job as your friend
Anytime.
to tell you.
Of course they're gonna do it. But, like, you have to be the last line of defense. Like, Daddy, you need to be when the entire world is saying do this, do that, whatever, and your body's saying do this, do that, whatever. As my little girl, the last line of defense has to be the voice of Daddy.
What character will you turn into if you're the last? If you're the last, what's it called? The last, not step. The last character you fight, like in Mortal Kombat.
Final boss.
Okay.
Okay. I'm the final boss of, like, what? Of, like any video game, or
like
just
right before Ruby's about to go like on her first date or something. Would you turn out just be Goro and just have forearms like,
no, see, no.
like who's the last character you're gonna be? To, like,
see, those Goro type scary characters are the ones that are before the final boss. The final boss is always like the
sensei.
Always the Zen. You've made it here.
Welcome.
Like they don't look scary at all. They're just like they're just the seasoned, like, I've been here for a million years.
What does that look like?
It would be like,
would you have the Asian music in the back playing?
I'd just be like on some long beard, like just floating in the air, sort of like I've mastered all the arts and whatever. It's like I'm not even looking at you, meditating. Like it's just like the back of my head and shit, and I'm just like up there, just like. You have made it past the 7 protectors of the uterus. And now I am the last beacon of protection.
And what would you say? What do you think Kaz now would say to that person, to that dude that wants to take Ruby to prom or something?
What I would say to the person that wants to take Ruby to prom?
Some Martin Lawrence bad boy shit. Ain't gonna be no fucking night.
I think you could get that point across without being as abrasive, right? Like, you know what? All right, so there's that scene. There's 2 scenes, right? There's Martin and Will doing the, you know what I mean? It could be, you know what I mean?
Bang bang.
And then there's the 50 Cent one. You ever see that movie? Where they're like all in like the garage or whatever? And then like the dude is walking through and it's like all his homies is in there in the garage, like about to take him for a date or whatever. And like he's just giving them the conversation, like very gentlemanly, but knowing like, yo, this is the person you have to bring. You're bringing her back home here tonight. And if you're not, and if something happens, you know what I mean? Like it should be understood without being said. You know what I mean? Right. Like I'm never gonna want to scare, you know what I mean, the person that my daughter might be into, that might actually like that's part of life. You got to go through all that. But I don't think, like, I think you kind of get looked at as corny as being like the, yo, my daughter.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, all right. As a woman, I'm going to tell you, that's not corny, but there's certain people that are scary without being scary.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Like there's a certain like aura and demeanor that, which I think if you weren't so fucking goofy, you'd be scary.
Yeah, nah, you know what it is?
But you might crack a joke and say, "Oh, hey, cool."
It's,
Like, nah.
it's called command and respect. It's called command and respect. Like, you don't have to be scary,
Yeah.
but it's just like, you should know, and I think anybody who's ever known me knows that, like, I'm very much this guy almost all the time until I'm not. And there are certain things, like anybody in life, that are non-negotiables with people.
Right.
And the protection of my family, the protection of my daughter, my health, like my money, those are the type of things where I'm like, I might not be so smiley, so happy-go-lucky,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And it's like...
I mean, those are valid.
No, exactly.
That's a
You
valid
know what I mean?
list,
Like
right?
that, which is why I'm saying, like, I wouldn't be like that to somebody who, like, wants to take my daughter on a
Yeah.
date. You know what I mean? Like, I just, but what's understood don't got to be explained. Like, this is a man who commands respect. Like, and it's...
You think you're gonna judge their looks?
I wouldn't care. I wasn't a licker. Like,
No, I'm not saying
a-
like look good or like just like how they present themselves, like how they dress, like how they carry themselves. Like, what if she brings a little hood booger, and you like, oh my god, you just know he like up to no good and going nowhere in life.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
It would have to be blatant.
Because sometimes
It
your
would have to be
parents
blatant,
I'm
right?
thinking
Like-
back on like people that my parents didn't like, and I'm like, they wasn't wrong.
Exactly. That's the
Like,
thing.
what's wrong?
Like there was definitely certain, you know what I mean, there was definitely certain women I would introduce to my
Mama
mom and
was
certain
like,
women just be like, it's like, this is a lot even for you. And I'm like, what does that mean? But
Once
it would have to be
once our
blatant.
parents start sucking their teeth, I'm like,
Yeah, like, there's a certain, like, if you're going to meet the parents, right? I understand if
At
you like
least
run
try.
into each other, like, you have to try. You have to try. Like, if I know this person is coming into my home and they didn't even think themselves enough to, like, not look crazy. And crazy isn't even like, I'm sure by the time I'm of age, like, kids will be wearing some stuff that'll be like, what the hell? Is that?
Yeah.
Like, I'll at least try and have at least some sort of frame of mind to still think, well, that's probably just what the kids today wear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about if you just don't carry yourself like somebody who has respect.
you have no home training.
Thank you. Yeah.
You have no home. I will never forget this one kid.
Like, I would never go to like my parents, the parents of somebody that I was with, and not like present myself. You know what I'm saying? Showing up is one thing. It's another thing to present yourself. You know what I mean? And it's like, it shows
Trying
that
to
like you
think if
gotta
I
have some
ever
thought.
like tried.
I mean,
I don't think I ever tried. I think I was very.
have you never not tried? That's the difference.
What? No, what I do.
Have you ever just been like, I'm just gonna go see you? That's the difference. Like those people, that's why I'll be like, all right. This
I
guy
always try to be myself. What I do mind is my mouth,
I can see that.
which can come off as fake.
I can see that.
Because I'm like, bitch, you know you. But I do mind my mouth. I do have. Remember, I did. Just remember.
I've only heard politically correct Rosy on like a handful of occasions. And like,
Where was this when you
right.
called your mom?
yeah, all right. So one was when he talked to my mom, right? Another one is like, I think when he was working and like, not even working. And I think it was another one where I just like overheard you on the phone, just like talking like you were talking to customer service. Just like, who the fuck?
Who this? This
Like, is
representative.
this your lawyer? Like, who are you talking to right now? Might have been your lawyer.
Might happen. Oh, when we had Mama Lynch on the show,
Okay, yeah.
I was-
Mama.
I was chill.
I definitely see the code switch. I was like, oh, okay, that's
I do mind my mouth around some moms. Some moms don't care either. Like once they start cursing, I'm like, oh shit, all right, cool.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
in here. But if not, like, I'm still remember where I grew up.
man.
The
I'm
ma'ams
just-
and the sirs come out real quick.
I just don't ever want my daughters to like fear me or like fear like.
I think they should though.
I mean, a fear.
There
as
has
far
to be
as,
one
like-
parent that they kind of fear.
You think so?
I know so.
Okay.
Or else they're gonna do whatever they're gonna run all over.
I would
you.
say fear in this. It's a different type of fear. Like I would want them to trust me more than
I
fear me.
get that,
Uh-huh.
but you cannot be their friend.
No. I'm not saying friend, but I'm saying like
Cause I have somebody I know
I
now
don't-
going through some shit. Cause their kid is too comfortable. So
I
now
don't
they're
wanna
turning into
be-
like a.
True.
I'm like, send them to Scare Straight. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, see,
Because
that's
now they're rebelling, you know,
so
because they
that's
got too comfortable.
That's one thing my kids will never need. They will never need Scared Straight. Like, they would never need me to send them to, like, a drill sergeant to be like, yo, over here, this is your mom.
Yo, low-key, though, we do need to bring that shit back. That will be hilarious.
That might have been the downfall of society right there. Like, once they got rid of Scared Straight, like, it's crazy in concept when you think about it now. But
I do what I want.
Back then, like, kids acting a fool was truly a national epidemic that people could not believe. They would have entire talk show segments dedicated to, like, yo, you see this dude's kids?
And this is why they rule
wildin'.
America. Only in America.
Only in America,
Would this
yo.
shit be a problem?
It was television made unruly teenagers seem like a truly a national
Uncle
epidemic.
Phil, too. You know what? A Dr. Phil.
But I respect it, though, because people cared enough to be like, yo, your kids are wildin'. We got to scare them straight or else this is what's going to happen. Like, I appreciate that now as older to be like, yo, like, some of these people didn't need to get grabbed up by, like, a drill sergeant or somebody in prison. Like, yo, man, you know what the fuck's going to happen to you? Like, maybe we didn't do it enough. Maybe we didn't do enough Scared Straight.
Let me tell you something. That little, was it Scare Straight when they would go to prison?
Yes. No, that was there was a Scared Straight prison, and there'd be like the episodes of the talk show where they'd like
Let me tell
just
you
send a
about
dude
that
from
shit.
the army and send it to boot camp or something.
I can't believe the prison ones didn't work. Because that shit.
You don't gotta threaten me with prison, bro. I know. I'm not going. I know what happens. You don't gotta put
Don't want it.
I think by proxy, those videos did more for the people watching them because it's like, yo, what was the dude's name? I likes you and I want you. What was his name? Yo, Marvin, you remember that guy? Oh man, there was an episode of the Boondocks or whatever. Was it Slim John? I forgot what this dude's name was, but he was a famous Scared Straight like prisoner or whatever. And he was basically talking to these like
He was on
inmates, but the Boondocks made a parody of him because he was so popular. And he's basically like, I likes you and I want you. And basically saying we can do this the easy way, right?
Oh, and he was talking to Grandpa, right?
Yeah, talk about taking the mail. And I'm just like, all right, like,
I do remember.
that's what happens in prison? Like, I'm good, never going.
That's gay, Grandpa.
Yeah, like, yo, like, Scared Straight did a lot for the community. Like, I think ultimately it was a net positive. Like, I get it, you know what I mean? There's gentle parenting, there's gentle, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want your kid to grow up freaking terrified of you and all that type of stuff. But suffice to say, those Scared Straight videos kept a lot of people that I knew out of prison.
I'm just
Kept
saying.
a lot of people, just the thought of...
We need to bring Scare Straight back.
But that's the thing, nobody's scared no more. Like, we see all this stuff. Like, the first time I saw inside a prison, I was like, oh my God. Now you just scroll down and, like, you can see somebody's, like, head get chopped off. And just like, that's another day.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't scare people straight no more. It's like, people are so desensitized to, like, all types of craziness. That's just like...
That in itself is wild.
It's wild. It's facts. It's facts. Because your boy Elon, man.
What about
Boy.
it?
No, I'm saying that's why, you know what I mean?
That is not my boy.
He bought X and was like, we should just let everybody just here. Here it is. Here's everything. Here's everything you've ever wanted to see ever in life. Ever.
Fucking hater.
Maybe we didn't need all that. Marvin, what else we got?
Diddy sharing a cell block. Sam Bankman. What? Do you
Did
think
you
he's
see
sharing
the-
a cell block? I don't think that's true.
Oh, this...
It's Diddy. I don't know if he's sharing a cell block. But I could be wrong.
Steady, bro. That's crazy. Like, sometimes, you ever just sit and just think about that? Like,
No. Never.
like, yo.
I don't just randomly think of Diddy.
Not just, I mean, like, just think about that.
They were
sometimes.
called freak-offs.
Right? Like,
What the
not,
fuck you thought was happening?
not even just that, but just like, yo, like, do you remember just how powerful and rich this guy was, like not even like 2-3 years ago. And now he is like, just like, it's not even like he doesn't even like feel like a real person
What goes
anymore.
up must come down.
It feels like some boogeyman shit. Like even just talking about it, it's just like, yo, it's just like, yeah, Diddy, you can't talk about Diddy, can't talk about it. Like this dude was one of the most famous dudes on
I don't
earth
think people canceled any of his music.
at one point. And it's just crazy how fast life can come at you.
Life comes at you fast.
Fast.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy how fast that happens, yo. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's selling Slumbox with somebody. I'm like, you know, I'm sure he's not in there with like the average guys. Like I'm sure there's a VIP up there. There's a VIP.
There's a VIP?
I'm sure there is. It's gotta be.
You think so?
Of course. I mean, especially they high profile, you know what I mean? You don't want them to off themselves. It's like, it's
I
all
gotta
that
ask my
stuff.
friend
Like,
if there's a VIP.
it's gotta be. Depending on what you did, right? Like,
Where is he locked up here? Yeah, he's locked up here.
he's locked up
Is he
here.
at Rikers?
I don't think it's Rikers. I don't know if it's Rikers. I think it's downtown, right?
No, that's a holding.
Oh, maybe. I don't
That's
think it's
just bookings.
Rikers.
Where else would he be?
I don't know. We'll find out. But it's just crazy to think about.
Y'all want to see? Let's Google it. Where is Diddy locked up? Listen, powerful tools.
Yeah, Google helps. Did you see the Oscars last week?
I did not.
Did you see the Conan O'Brien saying like, "Hey, it's halftime of the show, so now it's time to show we call Drake a pedophile." Did you see that part? You see that video? You didn't see that? I caused a lot of stir.
No.
Caused a lot of stir. Yeah. So he was like,
What?
and he said, "You know what? And I'm lawyered up too, so you know, it's a joke anyway." Wow.
Wait a minute.
I'm probably oversimplifying exactly how it went down, but that was more or less what happened.
Brooklyn Detention Center. I don't know where that is.
Oh, Brooklyn. Okay, yeah, as I said, he's downtown, like well, downish.
What? Conan O'Brien? Well, he chose a side, didn't he?
I mean, listen, it was a very,
Attention-seeking moment.
No. It was a smart joke. It was a smart joke because he didn't necessarily call Drake a pedophile. He said, Kendrick said, "You're a pedophile."
I ain't saying Kendrick said it. I'm just saying what Kendrick said.
I'm just referencing a moment that did happen at the halftime of the last very highly watched television show on this network. It was very cunning the way he said the joke. That's why I was like, when he said I'm lawyered up, so try it, I was like, He didn't call Drake a pedophile. He said,
it's about that time where
you know what I mean?
we should do it, right? It only feels right. It's halftime.
Which only begs the question: is like, I guess pedophile jokes are just flying now. Like, is that?
I think only that. I think I think that pedophile
Is that
joke is
just
flying.
cool? Like,
I think that one is.
I don't know.
I don't think they all
weird.
are.
It's weird. It's always weird when like stuff is just like, oh yeah, people aren't offended by that anymore. You can talk about that as long as it's talking about this person. It's kind of weird, but.
Listen, I think it's
I'm not a titty twister when it comes to comedy. Like it's hard to offend me. Like I don't get offended by it. What are you looking for?
I was looking at the links.
Oh, well, Marvin got them. He can pull them.
Okay.
Yeah, nah, it's weird. It's weird. Oh, did you see well, at the same Elimination Chamber in Toronto, did you see Travis Scott out there with The Rock and John Cena?
Mm-mm.
So yeah, so
How was that? I didn't watch any of that.
How was that?
How was it? I like John Cena.
Rosie, how was that? You're asking me?
Yeah.
Rosie.
What?
The John Cena heel turn?
I love John Cena.
Rosie.
Is that why the fuck he hasn't released Peacemaker? Because he's just out here just doing this shit?
Rosie,
Again?
let me tell you what happened.
Because I'm waiting for the show.
This is one of the times.
Waiting for season 2.
You see what's happening right here, ladies and gentlemen?
Guys, I'm waiting for season 2.
Marvin is our producer, and he's also a wrestling fan. So I want to ask him, you see what's happening here right now, Marvin? This is one of the times where I truly feel bad for people who aren't wrestling fans. You would have so much satisfaction this week from the John Cena heel turn. Think about Rosy. Think if you were watching a show for 22 years,
That's too long.
but you love the show. You watch the show
Am I
every
watching
single
reruns?
week. No.
Okay.
There's never a single rerun. There's a brand new episode every single week.
Okay.
And whether it's good,
So like The Simpsons.
bad, whatever, you still gonna watch.
Okay.
And what if you thought on the first episode of that 22-year-long show, the thing that you always thought was gonna happen finally happens 22 years later?
First of all, I'd be like, why the fuck it took so long?
Exactly. Exactly.
First
What
of
else
all,
would you
I'm
think?
like, why did this take so long? Second of all, I wonder how it's gonna go.
Exactly. Exactly.
Third of all, I want to watch it as it's happening or when it releases immediately,
Yes.
fanned out in my gear,
Yes.
ready, comfortable.
Rosie,
What?
you are going through the John Cena experience right now. John Cena, one of the most famous white men on the planet,
I do love him.
who also happens to be one of the greatest pro wrestlers to ever live. 16-time world champion. Ties the record with Ric Flair. Woo, Ric Flair.
Woo.
The most world championships in history. Late last year, he announces to the world, this is going to be my last year wrestling.
I thought he was already done.
He was kind of done. He was still dabbling in with the movies, doing all that shit. But he's basically saying like, yo, at the end of 2025, me and being in this ring is done. Never again. He announces his farewell tour on some Tom Brady, Derek Jeter, Kobe Bryant shit. Like, it's my last run. Everybody come see me. This is the Eras Tour, Taylor Swift. Everybody come see me everywhere we go. But he's still tied with Ric Flair for that record.
He probably gives out gift baskets.
Focus here, Rosie.
I'm sorry. You said Derek Jeter. I was like, he does.
Still,
He probably definitely does give out gift baskets.
so he's here. They're here, right?
Yeah, here. Got
All
it.
right. You got 2 chances, right? One, you win the Royal Rumble, right? The Royal Rumble.
You already explained that to
We
me.
already
Got
explained that. He was the last one out there, but he lost,
win it.
right? Didn't win.
The Somalian dude won.
So, no, yes, Jey Uso, our guy. It's not Somali, it's Samoan.
All right.
But close enough.
Okay.
So then
The word.
It's the word. Then the next month, right? Like a week before, the last chance to get into the main event of WrestleMania, right? The Elimination Chamber. Out of nowhere, boom, the fucking Rock shows up.
Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson's here. You think John
Chain or
Cena's
no
famous?
chain?
You think all these people famous? The Rock shows up a day's notice. Is like, yo, I'm coming to SmackDown in New Orleans. Be there, motherfuckers.
Wait, what?
Shows up, says, yo, WrestleMania New Orleans. He does his Rock thing, super famous. Oh, man, love you guys. I kiss the babies. Oh, my God. Do. Oh, one thing. Your world champion, I want his fucking soul.
It's about John Cena?
I want his fucking soul.
Someone John
No,
Cena?
Cody Rhodes, the
Who's that?
American Nightmare.
Cody Rhodes, I heard of him.
White boy, blonde hair, all-American boy, son of a plumber, Dusty Rhodes.
Does he have a
Great shit,
bandana?
man. Beat Roman Reigns last year in the,
Don't know
in
who
the
that
main
is.
event
Got it.
at WrestleMania. He was the guy who won the title. Finish the story. Super famous wrestler,
Got it.
ass kicker. People fucking love Cody
Rock
Rhodes.
wants his soul.
The Rock, Cody Rhodes is like unproblematic Hulk Hogan. It's like he's the freaking all-American boy, can't do no wrong. Tom Brady, J.J. Watt mix. with
Unproblematic
wrestling.
Hulk Hogan?
Unproblematic Hulk Hogan.
Okay, so he's not
Like,
racist.
He's
Got it.
not racist. Black wife.
Yes.
Mixed kids. Yeah,
Love him.
exactly.
Got
People
it.
fucking love Cody Rhodes.
Love him too.
And it's hard to make wrestlers that motherfuckers just love as a guy. Like, that's what
He's one of
fucking
them.
guy.
Got him.
And
Black
he
wife
is
check.
him, right? The Rock says, yo, you've been great as a champion. We're on Netflix now. Body and shit selling out everywhere. Da, 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 da. But yo, as great as you are right now, I can make it even greater for you.
How can he do that?
All I need is your soul. And Cody Rhodes is like, shit.
See what he did there.
Fucking buys him trucks and shit, buys him buses.
What?
Fucking wines and dines them, fucking gives them all this type of shit. It's like some Illuminati shit. Like, it's like, yo, the most famous dude on the planet. It's like, yo, you are my chosen one. You know what I'm saying? Come with me. And you could live.
But like when
This
he said he wants to
crazy
buy
life.
his soul, like did he mean he wanted to fight him and take his
No.
soul? Or he's just like,
He wants you. I want you to be my champion, is what he says. Like, I want you to be my like fucking my Shang Tu
My
Shah,
protege.
bro. Yeah, my protege. You know what I mean? It's The Rock. It's the most famous motherfucker on earth. Most bankable movie star on the planet. Like, legitimately, even though it's a wrestling storyline, he can make your ass really fucking famous. All right, so there we go. Week later.
It's funny how it goes into ballers too.
Yes, it's all of it.
It goes into ballers to like, no, I'll be your agent. I got you.
Exactly. That's what makes it so like interesting because it's like, no, but like he really is The Rock. Like he really is like that.
really
You know what I mean? We've seen him do this type of shit, right? Boom. Says, yo, don't answer me now. Give me an answer next week in Toronto when we're at Elimination Chamber, right? The Elimination Chamber match has happened. John Cena wins it. Holy shit. Cena actually won. He's fighting Cody Rhodes for the world title. If he wins it, he'll break the record, break Ric Flair's record, most world championships ever, all this type of stuff. It's his last year. It's his last WrestleMania. It's the last time. It's all some Tom Brady shit. Like, yo, we're trying to go out on top, you know? Out comes Cody Rhodes, ultimate good guy. John Cena, ultimate good guy. Two of the most ultimate fucking good guys. Just like looking at each other like, man, WrestleMania's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be your fans, it's gonna be my fans. It's gonna be all American. It's gonna be great. Boom. Out comes The Rock.
Okay.
And out comes with The Rock is Travis Scott. Why the hell is Travis Scott out here with The Rock?
Why was he there?
So, The Rock comes out with Travis Scott.
Oh, he has really blonde hair.
Lighting the sage. Talking to Cody Rhodes. Like, listen, the time is now, my friend. I gave you a week to think about it. Are you going to be my champion? Are you going to give me your soul? Embrace me.
What did he say? Did he say yes?
He said,
no? He said
I'm
yes.
going to do my best to paraphrase this, Marvin. I got you right now, bro. He goes,
Suspense. Tell me.
My soul doesn't belong to me anymore, Rock.
Whose is it?
I gave my soul to these people and these fans a long time ago. Everyone's like, yeah, that's my fucking guy. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, do you know what he said to The Rock afterwards?
I'm disappointed, Cody Rhodes. Go.
If that wasn't enough, you know what he said? Hey, Rock, go fuck yourself. People lose their minds.
Why would he
Lose
do
their
that?
shit. We're like, yo, what a moment. And John Cena, the ultimate good guy, is like, hell yeah, I never was a bad guy. You don't ever need to be a bad guy. We can do this the right way. Put it here.
Peacemaker.
Here's Cody Rhodes a dap, pulls him in, and John Cena makes face just changes. And The Rock, he looks at The Rock, and The Rock goes,
do they fight?
John Cena kicks this dude in the nuts, falls to the ground. Everybody's going crazy. He takes the Rolex that his daddy gave him, that he pawned. His Rolex that his daddy pawned to keep his dreams alive, that they bought back for him. John Cena puts it on his wrist and beats the fuck out of his face. And if that wasn't enough, Rosy,
what happens?
John Cena holds The Rock down. John Cena and The Rock both hold this man down. In comes Travis Scott.
Why?
Takes his hand and absolutely shatters this dude's face.
Cody Rhodes?
Cody Rhodes' face. Like,
why'd they do this? Why they getting up on him?
listen,
Wait, John Cena kicked who in the nuts?
John Cena kicked Cody Rhodes in the. John
I
Cena's
thought it was
officially a
fair
bad guy now. Bad guy now. First time. Oh my God, this is some bad guy shit. But Travis Scott, I mean, this is still some wrestling shit going on. It's like, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah, ah. I don't think anybody gave Travis Scott the memo that like, yo, the punches you gotta pull a little. Like you can't you can't lean in the way you leaned in. And boy,
Wait.
did Travis Scott lean in? Broke his eardrum.
Who's?
Cody Rhodes.
In real life?
In real life, breaks his eardrum, gives him a black eye, and you could see the actual moment it happens.
Why
It's
is
like,
he actually hitting? Oh, because he doesn't know.
you
Did
don't
they
know.
not rehearse?
It's like-
They practiced?
I guess one would say like you would have
You didn't
practiced.
rehearse this?
I mean, it was pretty violent. Like, and I watch a lot of wrestling, and I see some people.
Travis, can you even
lay
fight in
into
real life?
it.
Oh, he was the Ranger lifestyle took over.
Wow, yeah. Like, and anybody who's ever seen Travis Scott like
Are they suing?
bang on the damn. Come on, son, they're not silly.
Why not?
It's wrestling, like it's good, but
This is why they should have had Bad Bunny instead.
the Rock,
Sorry.
they did a press conference afterwards, and The Rock's like, yeah, he smacked the shit out of the Travis Scott before they go out. Travis Scott's telling The Rock, like, yo, man, I want to get in there and get physical or whatever. And The Rock says, all right, well, if you get in there, you better make it count. Like, you better lay into it.
So it's The
make
Rock's
it look
fault.
good. Yeah, I would say it's The Rock's fault, but on a wrestling level, like, that's how you want your celebrities to be used in the wrestling, right? Like, you have to make it believable. Like, you have to,
I mean,
like,
it was pretty fucking real.
yeah, like, it has to be real. Like, it has to be what I guess folks call protecting the business, right?
When did
like,
this happen? I want to see.
This happened 2 weeks ago. I
I'm
wanna
late.
say. No, it happened this past Saturday, in Toronto. That's your WrestleMania main event, Rosie. I hope you're interested. There you go.
Great story. What other celebrity would you have chosen for that?
To be in The Rock's corner.
Because I can only think of Bad Bunny. Because he loves wrestling so much.
You know who would be funny in that situation?
Who?
Kanye West. Like, if it was Yeezy instead of Travis Scott, that shit would. You want to talk about real heel heat? Like, real, like,
That
yo.
would have been like such a wild card.
These guys
too.
are bad
Like, what
guys
the
now.
fuck?
Like, yo, replace that last visual of Travis Scott, John Cena, and The Rock with Kanye West, John Cena, and The Rock. And you got three of the most hated guys there is right now. Like, The Rock, that would have been. You've been watching anything for this long and been this invested.
All right, guys.
Rosie, there's nothing that could compare. I'm sorry.
Look
You
at
can
you.
tell me about your paradise. Severance is great.
No. I'm heard that was trash.
All right, bingo. You watched the show for 7 episodes
It was trash.
or 10 episodes, however many episodes it was.
The first 6 episodes were enough to hook me where I'm like, I gotta find out what happens.
Uh-huh.
That season finale, big mid,
Damn.
below mid. I hate people that gassed it. It was not good.
It's tough. It's tough to live up to sticking the landing that good. You know what I mean? Like the show, I thought Paradise was extremely just intriguing. Like the concept of it. Like the first episode, a good pilot will get me anytime. And
That's
like
what-
that first episode with, you know what I mean, you got the youngest president, it's kind of like a little racist, but like, all right, you know, I'm just a senator.
Yeah,
You
my
know what I
main
mean?
scandal.
You're finding out like this, like, you know what I mean? Like how
Olivia
just
Pope.
regular ass dude the president was. And, you know, he gets clapped in the first episode.
Racist,
And they're
alcoholic,
Like, yeah. Then you find out
all
like
the things.
then you find out they're living in like some like underground like doomsday like
That
fake
was-
house. So like I was
yeah.
like, God damn, this shit could really happen. Like, any show that makes me go,
It was
God
too,
damn,
you
this shit
know,
could really happen.
it was
It's
too
usually
close
good
to home
content.
because Trump not saving us.
I'm not saying. I'm saying. I'm like,
It was
damn,
too close to
no.
home. If this shit really happened, Trump is taking, not us.
No, they. I don't know if I'm making it.
We're not
Do I
making
make the cut?
We not making
I don't
it.
think I'm making
It
the
was
cut.
all
no.
billionaires in that bitch.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
And people that were of asset. So like they got like one mixologist so they can open a bar.
Damn.
They got one librarian so they can open a library. They got like one of each to like keep the town going.
Yeah, that's rough. I don't know. I'd rather just go out with everybody else. At that
Remember when
point.
I told you that?
Yeah, like
And you
at
were
that
like,
point.
nah, man, I'm gonna build a fucking tunnel and I'll be proud. I was like, and then do what,
But if
guys?
it's a-
You have nothing to prove to nobody because
If
no
it's
one's
a-
gonna be there when you get out.
That is true. But if it's got to be some vaporized shit though. Like I don't want to suffer. I don't want to be the guys who like got like the tail edge of the doomsday, and I just got like dragged like one half of my body. Like
What is that immediately?
I just take me out immediately. Like just give me a direct hit. Just like all right, here we
Dead
go.
ass. No.
Like I want to
Seriously.
just turn it into dust
Same.
immediately, bro. Like,
Same.
don't even.
I do not.
If we all going out just like some dust, like on some Thanos shit, that's probably the smoothest way to go. I would say.
Not gonna lie to you.
Like, don't give me a
Not
half
gonna lie to
a
you.
torso.
1,000% agree. I don't want to. I want to feel nothing.
Nah, just take me out easy. Just I don't even want to know what's happening. Like, wait, what?
Evaporate.
Just evaporate. And I'm like, oh, like I wake up at the other place and be like, wait, what?
Just turn into some
What?
goo or turn me into some slime. I don't care.
He's like, that's it? And then St. Peter's like, yep, that's it. I was like,
Wow,
oh.
that was easy. Like Beetlejuice.
I'll take that.
When you went to the afterlife with all these fucked up people, you're like, All right, cool. That was
Yeah,
easy.
basically, like that's how I want it to feel. That's how I hope it feels like. I don't want it to be. That's my only thing. I don't want to die in a panic, and I don't want to die excruciatingly slow.
I want to die in my sleep.
Yeah, sleep. I think sleep's a good way to go.
Yeah.
And I would say just a quick Armageddon where we all turn to dust.
No.
So if it's like, because the worst part of kicking the
I don't wanna
bucket.
suffer, bro.
No, my thing is like the worst part about kicking the bucket is that I don't want to leave nobody any grief. So it's like if we all go at the same time, it's like, all right,
We are.
catch y'all at the next spot.
See y'all.
Hey, like, all right,
See y'all
wherever we
later.
going, I guess we all going there together. So, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Leading-
Damn, that's some selfish ass shit, cuz.
I'm saying if I had a choice, like, yo, if they gave you the blank sheet of paper, it's like, if I had to pick,
So nobody's coming with me. Who's
if I
coming
had
with
to
me?
pick the way to go, like, just take me to the doomsday, just take me
Who's
straight to the
coming with
doomsday,
me,
take me to the last day that's all going down, and just give me a
Who's
direct hit.
coming with
So,
me?
we out.
Nah,
I want to see it coming. I was like, just looking up there, like, all right, here we go, and it just phew.
That's funny.
And then I'll be happy. Not happy, but you know,
Well,
that would be my
here
choice.
you have it, guys. Heard it here first.
Oh, guys,
Wrap this shit up.
let's wrap this up. This has been another episode of Say Less with Kaz, Low-Key, and Rosy. Thanks for tuning in. You can subscribe to youtube.com/Kazeem, patreon.com/Say Less. You can catch me on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, Ring of Wrestling Show, Fanatics, and Fanatic Sports Books, as well as other forms of media throughout the week.
Let's fucking go, guys.
You know me.
Let's go.
Thank
Borrow a
you.
job, bro.
Oh, and guys, please, Wale Mania tickets are on sale now. You're going to want to be there. Trust me on this one. That's all I'm going to say about that. Las Vegas, April 17th, Brooklyn Bowl. We'll see you there. But like we always do with this time, stay free.
Stay safe.
And always
Say
say less.
less.
And catch y'all
Peace
next
out.
week, people. Peace.
We come a long way from the Averex, from the days when we had to make the waist stretch. Now it's Vacherons and all the Marble K sets. You wanna get money with me? Say less. Say less. Say less. You wanna get money with me? Say less.